Uh, Let me know if you guys can hear me clearly. Let me see if I can do something about this. Ah, let's see. Crazy day in the markets. I mean, that's one thing I'll give it. Right. Pretty much a lot of stuff happening. Let's go ahead and try seeing if I can, at least if I can put in the comments and everything else, you guys start getting the messages in saying we're live. Let me go see, pin the message in. Yeah, let me also get the poll rolling so you guys can flip on and start answering the polls as well. Mm, let's see. So it's Nvidia earnings week. That's going to be a big one. But sure, I still believe that it's going to go higher. Let me actually see. Yeah, maybe that's better. Uh, so let me see. Nvidia's earnings going to be dropping. Should be fun. Let's see how many of you guys believe it's going to head higher. I think they report post market, so Nvidia. Let me see what time are they reporting. That should help us. Let me just close the door so that the voice doesn't echo. Just let me know if you can hear me clearly. We're just going to wait for more people to join in and then we'll begin. Hmm. So 28th, it's tomorrow, not today. Uh, okay, and let's go and see what else is happening. So, Nvidia earnings dropping. Let's see what else is happening in the world. Let's get a poll going. I want to, most of you guys go in and answer the poll, so that's pretty cool because then I can, at the end of all of it, decide what is it that you guys exactly look at. So, let me see. So, yeah, let's make it a little bit of fun because we're going to say if the AI boom is still strong, is it either load the GPUs or are we still in a China risk plus tariffs time to cool off? So, this could be it. All right. How many of you actually believe that the AI boom is still ongoing? There you go. Polls out. I'm gonna bet on possibly the AI boom still going strong. That's my bet. Not sure. Let's see what you guys think. Right. We're gonna start in a few minutes. We're just polling around, just waiting to see what's. This is episode 10, so it's gonna be fun. Mm. Mm. Okay. I come in a few minutes before just to see if any of you guys want some help or anything. I'm gonna do that anyways during the whole bit. So we're just gonna wait for some more people to join in, then we'll begin. Do this every day. It's been about 10 days now. We're at episode 10, so that's pretty cool. Let's go and let's see what else is happening. Markets were pretty cool though. I mean, last night, you had a big move up. You actually had a futures that showed us that markets were going to go higher. Uh, and then we did have a move lower after open. I'm still looking to see if 6,000 on the S&P 500 breaks, because that's going to be the important one. Anyways, guys, if you could just like drop in and comment saying that you can hear the audio clearly. Otherwise, I'll position the mic a bit differently. Let me know in the comments. Anyways, so we had a 2% Nasdaq day, 2% S&P 500 day. So yeah, that's that. Okay, make sure to go ahead and hit the poll, because that's kind of important. Like, I like the polls more than everything else. Just want to know what everybody feels about Nvidia. Right, we go over the VIX today. We'll go over the markets. We'll go over a few charts. We'll go over what I'm seeing. We'll go over a few companies that reported yesterday, fag end of the earnings season, but still did report. So let's look at that as well. One of them was Box, so that's pretty cool. Went up 10% post market. So yeah, that's that. Let's also see what's happening in news today. Let's do all of that. So guys, let's go. We're episode 10. We'll keep going. Our aim is to get to 100 subscribers, eventually keep going higher and higher, because we're going to start. Just before we start, let me know if you can hear the audio clearly and the video is great. Drop into the comment, just message. That'll help me out. Continue. Perfect. So I'm guessing everything's okay. If it's not, just let me know. If you can hear like something behind or any of that. Okay, so let's go. Let's see. Let's go over some of the news that's currently happening, and then we can flip into. I just like seeing what else is happening in the world. So at the moment, there is a Starship launch that's happening.
That first flight proven super heavy.
So that's going to be fun to see what happens there. I'm not so sure what we got to do, but yeah. Can you signal? Hi, Jason. How's it going? Thanks for the question. Can you signal SPY like next week price movement? So the good part is you did ask me SPY instead of NASDAQ, because the NASDAQ's going to go up exactly. It's going to do what NVIDIA does. That's the big one. But if you got a week view, I think we're breaking 6K. I think we're breaking 6K maybe within this week. That's my bet. If NVIDIA earnings come out great, which I do expect at least him to be bullish in his outlook. I'm not sure if the numbers would be that great considering the China tariffs and everything else that's coming out, but I do believe he is going to come out and speak positively. See, remember, he doesn't want to go out against President Trump or against the administration and say anything against them. So he's going to be pretty bullish in his outlook for America as well as for the semiconductor space. Keep that in mind because they have a large percentage holding on the NASDAQ, on the global market, as well as NVIDIA's earnings would push up the markets in the US. My bet 6K, bro. I guess, Jason, 6,000. We should see that. Don't hold me to it. I'm not that great of a short-term trader. My bet 6K, right? I was wondering next week for gap fill by 565 for SPY after this week's rips. It could be tough, man. You know what? While I do agree with you and I am on page with you because I do understand that the market currently has, and this is something that I was talking about yesterday on the live when I went, there are 3 gaps in the market currently that have not yet been filled. In order to have a sustained bull market, 3 lower gaps not being filled is a lot, right? So that's something that's kind of like fascinating at this moment. I do agree with you that you could possibly have a gap fill, maybe, but it would require something with the administration. I don't think it's going to happen just because NVIDIA literally goes to the shitters. That's not my belief. So possibly it's not going to move up and then come lower. That's not my viewpoint at this moment. 6K for me, I think, is still looking like SPY is going to break that. I think we're still going to head towards new highs. My bet was new highs by year end, more like 6,500 by year end and maybe 6,250 or something on that frame in another few months. I do believe maybe we will see all-time highs in maybe in a month or a month and a half. That's my bet, Jason. Thanks for the question, though. Keep coming, man. Keep going ahead with those questions. I mean, I like these kind of questions. This is fun. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Join in for the lives. Ask your questions, whatever you want, all the time. Make sure you subscribe as well. It's pretty cool. Nice to see you around, Jason. Anyway, so just coming back to a few things. I mean, the Dow was up 1.78%, the Nasdaq was up 2.39%, the SPX was up 2%, the Russell was up 2.4%. Keep that in mind, guys. When you start seeing small cap exponentially outperforming on a pullback and then on a rip higher, that's what's been happening in the market. You usually tend to see follow-throughs. And these follow-throughs can take you towards new highs. I mean, we're just 3.8% away from an all-time high on the S&P 500. Guess the amount of people that are going to be coming in, right? I mean, Jason, think about this part as well. I mean, from a longer term perspective, you know, how many people have been on the sidelines or part bearish on the economy and on the stock markets? And that usually fuels the market like jet fuel in order for it to head higher and higher. So that's something I keep in mind as well, because I'm like, there's a lot of people that are currently on the sidelines and bearish or either, and they're going to start turning bullish when you get to new highs, because at new highs, a lot of people are like, wait, I thought the tariffs were bad. I thought everything was going to the shitters, but maybe not, because why else would the market be higher, right? Because you can keep calling a pullback till the time you reach all-time highs. Once you hit all-time highs, it's not a pullback anymore, right? That's something that I'm looking forward to, and I do believe it's going to happen in the next, maybe this quarter, maybe the next quarter. It's quite possible, right? Let me get Jason's question. That's why I said probably 6K for a rip this week to trap retail. As you might know, market loves to trap. That's absolutely true. Gap fill or a retrace after a rip this week shouldn't be unexpected. I agree with you, Jason. I think if we do get closer to 66,000, 6,100, if I was a short-term trader, I would take some risk off. I might not go short, but I might take risk off and I might buy. So I'm a more of a longer term investor. Also, I am more of a positional trader. I don't usually trade weeklies, but then again, I've made a lot of my money trading weeklies, trading dailies also. So I don't want to give the notion to everybody that the only way to make money is long term, right? I'll be pretty frank about that. It is possible that we could get trapped into a higher scenario where we do head to the 6,000s, but do remember that we could have a higher low, higher high scenario. So that technically basis could be very powerful as well. To some extent, in some technical circles that I have been seeing, as well as a few people that I have been speaking with, have been seeing an inverse head and shoulder pattern on the daily charts, which is an exceedingly bullish pattern. It's not necessary it works all the time, but that's been there, and you have seen a retest back that happened a few days back to 5776 and a move higher, right? If we do take out the previous intermediate high at about 5970, you could see prices then move towards 61, 6200. What I would say, Jason, is if you see this week a powerful bullish candle that looks like it's engulfing the previous moves very easily, I would step back from maybe shorting. But then again, Jason, if you're ready to be in and out of these short-term trades pretty quickly to make your money and leave, go for it. In all honesty, you will have some pullback if we break 6,000 and come back lower. That's more than likely. People will start taking risk off. It's a whole number scenario. That's what happens, right? Whole numbers like 6,000, 5,000, 10,000, all of these things play on people's minds. And there's a JP Morgan caller as well at 5970 from what I remember. So that's holding the market lower as well. All right. Let me see, Jason. Tell me your level for short term, like generally after what level you might think of a short. So, the only times I have shorted markets is when, and this is counterintuitive to most people, but this is my belief and anecdotal data proves it. You don't get market crashes or market falls from overbought territories. You get it from oversold territories. This might sound weird to a lot of people and might sound intriguing, but here's the story. More people begin to get bearish as prices go lower, not as prices go higher. As prices go higher, people stay away from trading. So when I go short, very rarely do I do. It is never because the bull seems so charged up that where the green candles are too large for me to go short on, right? It's always a scenario where I have started seeing prices come down, stay there, not make a new high, and then head lower again. On this fall again is when I go ahead and make my short. That is again very rare, Jason, that I go ahead and do that, but it's not uncommon for me to go short. I do it. The other way I try going short is, you could look at this as one option. It might help you, is I go in and check what the current volatility index is at, right? If the VIX is at, let's say, like today, it's at 18.95. If we start seeing a 16 handle or a 17 handle on the VIX, I might take some risk off if we get to 6,100, 6,000 on the S&P this week and start buying VIX calls. So I might play for volatility because with the current administration, that's the most confident I can be that we will have volatility, right? So I might buy 3-week out VIX calls, which are pretty much in the money or closer to in the money, and then trade those. So that way I would be playing for volatility and not for more of a directional move. I'm more of a kind that bull markets are longer than bear markets. Intermediate recoveries are stronger than intermediate pullbacks. And one of the things is, like with today's candle, when you go out and see it, you're able to see the fact that, it's taking almost, you're literally opening. This is something that I know, I'm pretty sure, Jason, you know this as well. If the open and the low on the SPX is pretty much the bottom tick, right? It's very rare to start having those falter off. It could happen. I mean, it's markets at the end of the day. You have to be ready to change your mind like this, right? But keep that in mind. Usually when the open and the low are the same, you usually have set a market low, right? Keep that in mind. Let me see. What's he say? Jason says never played Wix, but thanks for yeah, try it out. I mean, you know what? I learned it a little late in my life as well when I was trading that maybe the Wix is a bit more fascinating. It's you're playing for volatility, so at the end of the day, the game is to make money, right? I mean, you could make it by buying corn, by buying orange juice, by trading whatever you want to trade, right? All of these trades, right? Frozen concentrated orange juice is one of the most traded things on the CBOE. So you could trade whatever you want, where all you have to make money. So think about the Wix, take a shot at it, look at it. Maybe do a paper trade. Don't go in, right? You don't lose anything in a paper trade, but you don't feel the gains as well. So I get that. I mean, I've done that in my life as well. Have a look at it, right? The Wix is a fascinating thing. Also, another, if you, I don't know how much this will help you, but go ahead. I mean, some people it does. You have the Wix, and a lot of people don't know that you have something called as the VXN, which is the volatility index for the NASDAQ. The Wix is for the American market generally, right? The VXN, on the other hand, is a lot more volatile. So if you're into a lot more short-term trading and you want to play the upswings, downswings a lot more, check out the VXN. It's something that it's currently at 22.32. So it moves a lot more than the Wix, but it's something to keep in mind. I mean, you could get a lot of gains out of it as well. If you play it well, that's true, right? Thanks for the questions, Jason. So let's see what else is happening in the world. I'm just going to go through a few of my stuffs that I anyways go through. You guys can jump in with your questions any moment. So I'm going to come in there and Trump to review cutting government contracts with Howard. Okay, this has been going on for a while. Let's see what else is happening. Yeah, let me see what happened to the dollar index at close. I remember seeing it before. One of the most beautiful things that did happen was the 10-year yield. That started cracking by 1.35%. Keep in mind, when the 10-year yield starts moving lower, you are beginning to see equity markets do better. Just keep that in mind. It's not too much. It's still, we're not off the rails in order to enter a boom time, but just keep in mind, guys, 10-year yields heading lower is a bullish event. It's not a bearish event. Just keep that in mind. There you go. Let's see what else is happening in this world. I tried not doing these live streams during the market hours because it just gets crazy, and there's a lot of people doing live market trading and all that. I'm not into that game, so that's not my party to go to. I stick to a lot more medium term, longer term. I don't mind doing some short term, but my short term is long term for a lot of people. So yeah, that's that. Anyways, if any of you know what happened to the Starship launch, just drop it in the comments. I just want to know if everything's cool. It's fascinating what happens there. Let's go. Let's see what else is happening. Okay, make sure to go ahead and put in your votes for the poll. That's more important than subscribing, guys. It's just fun. Okay. Do we have anything that comes out today? Okay, we have the FOMC minutes that come out today, so that should be pretty cool. But I don't really think. I think the FOMC at the moment the Fed knows as much as we know, which is absolutely zilch, nothing. Because you have something else that happens on Friday, you have something else that happens on Monday. So no one knows anything. So how do they expect to make any cuts or any interest rate hikes when no one knows shit? So be that as it may, right? So after the close, we're going to be getting Nvidia coming out. We're going to get Salesforce coming out. We're getting Abercrombie and Fitch before earnings, so before open. So let's see. Just trying to see if there's anything fascinating that happened. Governor DeSantis signs bill to make gold, silver legal tender in Florida. Jesus. We're going back there, guys. We're going back there. We'll start barter system all over again. So Trump halts all student visa applications. Wow. Cool. Let's see. Hmm. According to Financial Times, NVIDIA suppliers have resolved rack-level issues tied to its Blackwell servers, clearing the way for broader GB200 shipments. Production has been delayed by... Pretty clear. Not sure why it's not connecting. Yeah, okay. There you go. It is. Cool. Okay. Let me see what else is happening. Russia decides to start major navy drills in the Baltic. Okay, whatever that means. Cool. Just trying to see if we have something more that we can talk about. So Citi reiterates a buy rating on Trade Desk. Trade Desk is one of my holdings. I'm looking at them as an investment as well. Let me just see if they've come out and said something that's nice, right? They highlight key themes and data from upfronts, which were generally positive for the connected TV and the Trade Desk. In our view, if you're waiting for Amazon DSP to impact, you'll be waiting longer than expected. TDD has them too, and it seems like Amazon's here coming from existing Amazon budgets. Okay, so it's going to be an Amazon versus Trade Desk kind of a scenario. Looking like Trade Desk is going to win it. We saw another year of positive trends at upfronts with greater adoption of CTV as a portion of total TV and of decision programmatic as a portion of CTV. My bet is that Trade Desk should be a triple dollar stock, so it should start getting into the 3 handles, maybe more than 100. Not something that I think is out of the ordinary. I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. It used to trade at about, from what I remember, it used to trade at about 140. So it's still 86% away from its all-time high. Yeah, 141, and we're at 76. My best guess, I think 140 is coming in the next year, 2 years maximum. That's still 86% in 2 years, so that's not bad return, right? I mean, not bad. I mean, that's bloody great. That's too good. Let's see. Let's see what else is happening. I remember Pinduoduo, right? PDD. That was pretty screwed up. That crashed. What, 13%? It was down to 97, now closed at 102. Oh, let me get one of those questions. Yeah. I just checked next week's Max Payne for SPY is around 58. Wouldn't be surprised if they give us that. Do you consider Max Payne in your I do. You're right. What I also do look at is delta positioning in terms of gamma as well. Where is it that, so Max Payne can in some instances be an indicator that's a bit lagging. It's not necessary because that number is going to change drastically based on big orders that banks sit on. Keep that in mind. For if you're into weekly trading, yes, it does matter a lot. It does make sense to do that. I, in all honesty, wouldn't hold too much onto Max Payne, but to some extent, I do understand what you're saying. To keep things short, I don't use it as much. I just look at it. In a down market, I look at it more, right? Let me make things simpler. In a bearish market, I look at Max Payne more and more to see if it keeps roaring, all right, with every day's bearish move. On a bull market, I don't look at Max Payne that much, just because for me, it starts looking like it's more ideal to see a move higher. Pullbacks, if I'm buying stocks, I start looking at that as a scenario where I'm like, maybe this is where the support comes in, possibly. I rather look at supports for individual stocks than the index. When it comes to the index, the only supports I look at is maybe a 200-day moving average. Like even if you look at my chart right now, the only I have zero indicators, zero anything. The only thing I have is a 200-day moving average. That's it. And that's just to tell me trends because the 200-day moving average has algo buying, algo selling. So That's the only thing. And again, the 200 days just for me to figure trends out, figure things out on a weekly, monthly, daily, 4 hourly time frame. Nothing else. I don't have anything. No trend lines, no patterns, no nothing. It's a lot of intuition that I play with. Because one thing I'll tell you, Jason, if you get too much into technicals, if you get too much into digging into each nook and corner, you will always find something that's bullish and something that's bearish against your argument. So sometimes you just got to hold the nuts and go at it, right? There's nothing more that you can do. Just take a shot, right? Thanks for the question, bro. And great questions, man. I like these questions. Let me go over and see. What are any more questions that you have, Jason? I'm game to answer. Let's see what else is happening. Okay, nothing too fascinating. Oh, Donald Trump makes Canada a new offer to become the 51st state. Apparently, they have to pay $61 billion for the Golden Dome project. If they remain separate but unequal nation, it will cost them $0 because they will become the 51st state. They are currently considering the offer. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That last part was by me because that's part of Donald Trump's tweets. But yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen with Canada, man. Maybe they become the 51st state. Who knows? Today's day and age, you have no clue what the hell's going to happen. All I know is that make money when the hay shines, right? Go ahead and look for stocks that are going up, look for strong stocks, keep buying them, let them go up, make your money, be happy. Ah, AMC is up 23%. What's that? Earnings that came out? A record Memorial Day weekend with over 7 million attendees and strong ticket stains for Lilo Stitch. How is the consumer weakening if you have record movie going by consumers? It's just fascinating. Some things just bewilder me as to the concept, as to how people keep thinking as to a recession is here. Everyone knows about it, but I guess everyone doesn't care as well. People just like, everyone likes the doomsday approach, right? Everyone wants to come out and say, oh, the world's ending, right? Anyways, let's see what else is happening. You had Meta up about 2.43. Okay, let me just go back to the indexes and see what's happening there. Okay, so futures are still the way they are. Yeah, so the 10-year yield has now come lower. The 10-year yield is now hitting somewhere around 4.44, which is about 1.35% lower. The aim of the administration is to get the 10-year yield lower and lower. If that's their aim, to keep getting the 10-year yield lower, you should start seeing stocks head higher and higher. What could benefit from this is companies that do mortgage lending. They could start making a lot of money because remember one thing, the housing sales in America has come to a standstill. Literal standstill. You have price cuts. You might hear about these few companies that suddenly, or few houses that suddenly have like sold for like 35 million, 50 million, 100 million, whatever. But the average home sales have just dropped. If you start seeing the 10-year yield head lower, and I have a belief that this year we could see a sub 4 handle on the 10-year yield. You could go below 4%. If you start going below 4%, you're going to start seeing not only stock markets go up, but home sales increase. If home sales increase, you're going to see construction improve. You're going to start seeing jobs come back. It's just got a bigger cyclical effect that's going to come in, right? That's just something that's going to be, it's going to be worthwhile to watch because it's contrary to what most people believe as of today. And I like taking the contrarian approach to people's thoughts if it means I can make money, right? it just gives you asymmetric returns. That's the important part. If you want to make money in the markets, make sure you look for asymmetric returns, right? And make sure you guys go in and subscribe and comment and put in your questions. I'm here to get that. Jason, you back? What's up? I'm like $250 in for calls this week for SPY. I really wanted to rip and for you to be right. I'm just confused for next week to compound this. I already regret missing that call back to 575. You know what, Jason? I hope so too. I don't want you to lose money. Just keep in mind that I'm as bad as the worst gets when it comes to what's going to happen tomorrow, day after, or this week, right? What I'm telling you is from my experience that I do believe we're going to head higher unless you get some stupid tweet that comes out, right? Which could again just move things here and there. But what I would say is I think you're pretty okay for the moment. You're going to do well, right? I'm not sure about the pullback, mate, but maybe you're already in calls, right, for this week. So I'm guessing you're in calls since yesterday, since maybe like opening today. So you're already in the money. If you do get sizable amount of money that comes your way, just, I would say, take it, man. Remember one thing, this is something that I can guarantee you. You can always come back to this party. Take your money and leave. It is better to take something rather than nothing. And you can always come back. The market's going to always give you an opportunity to come back. So just keep that in mind, Jason. Yeah, Trump has literally made this gambling rather than TA lately with things going on. Everyone is already speculating market manipulation. That's true. You know, a lot of people are saying that. I don't know how much of the market manipulation is true or any of that, but what I would say is that it's still not gambling yet. It will become gambling only if we stop having rules, right? So to some extent we were okay with that standpoint, but I do get the logic that because of the way things move, it's just gone crazy up and down. Let me get the next one. Could be off topic. Do you think Mr. Shashi Tharoor's speech has jolted the USA and Trump out of his dreamy slumber? Not sure. I think a lot of Indians watched it maybe, but not people globally. So that's that. I'm not really, that's not my circle of competence, so not sure if I can answer that. Okay, let me go back and see what's happening. Yeah, I think maybe this week we should take out 21,500 on the Nasdaq, and if that does happen, then you'll see prices go higher and higher. So just my 2 bits about the market. Go ahead and vote and subscribe and do everything else that's needed. Yeah, so the 10-year yield is a big one. That's what I was telling you guys about, that the lower the 10-year yield goes, you're going to start seeing things change, right? Let me just go in and start something with ChatGPT. This is something that I wanted to know. There's a company called Rocket Finance, right? What I want to see is how much of their book is on a flexible lending rather than a fixed lending. Does taker gain from a lowering 10-year yield? Okay, let me go see what else is happening. Yeah, so Rocket Company, the parent of Rocket Mortgage, will typically benefit when the 10-year treasury yield declines. So when the 10-year yield will fall, mortgage rates will decline. It increases home purchase affordability, spurs refinancing activity, and Rocket makes its money through originating and servicing mortgages. When mortgages rates fall, you're going to start seeing refinancing spike. You're going to start seeing purchasing demand also go up. Both dynamics are going to drive higher volume and revenue for Rocket. So it's It's a rate sensitive fintech lender. Lower yields also make growth margin sensitive stocks more attractive. This can initiate valuation multiples. Okay. Cool. So looks good. Maybe I'll take a bet on Rocket. Not sure yet. Let's see. So I still need to do some research. Right? You don't want to enter something and then realize you have no clue what's going on. But I do remember that the options are pretty cheap on Rocket. I don't want to go out and buy equity. This might be more of an options play than anything else. Okay, let's see. Yeah, what happened to the Starship launch? What June? Not June. What happened today? Launched. Everything great. Cool. Okay. Yeah, it's on its way. 34 minutes past. The thing's at 26,500 kilometers per hour. Yeah, Jesus. Altitude of 152. Cool. Looks good. All well. Seems like Tesla's going to go higher then. Okay. Let me see. Last thing I wanted to see was the DXY, the dollar. What exactly is happening there? Okay, that's been steady. I mean, it's like pretty much done nothing as of yesterday. I still do think that the dollar index would go towards 102, 103. The dollar will strengthen. Bond yields coming lower, dollar strengthening. It's time we see that. It's been a while since the market's not been doing that, and that's something that's been affecting market participants because they're like, the bond yields going lower, the currency is going lower, a lot of things are going lower, but not been that much of a response when it comes to, and because of that, stock prices have been going lower because they're worried about a bond yield going higher and the dollar falling at the same time. So that's fascinating. All right. Okay, let me see what else is happening. Okay, let's see. So what's it trading at? 13, right? Let's look at 2027. Let's look at 19. We're looking at 1.7. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, maybe 2.4. Okay, whatever. Let's say 2.5. Put in 100. 13 to 30. Let's say you have a big jump next year. Okay. Cool. So that's that. Okay, make sure you guys go ahead, subscribe, go and put in your comments. I can answer whatever it is that is within me to answer. And go ahead and hit that poll. We're still at 2 votes. We got to figure out who's going to win at the end of all of this. Right? Do you think Nvidia is going to have a better earning season or a bad one? I think it's going to come through at 4:30 in the afternoon. That's when I think it's going to come through. I did put out a video the other day about 2 stocks. One of them was a firm and the other one was with Nikhil and Sean. I put out a video for what happens between if Trump puts his tariffs on the EU, which he's now backtracked, but what happens if it comes at 50%? What happens if he puts in the tariffs on Apple, which was supposed to be at 25%? That's another one that goes through. Let me actually sit down for a bit. And what happens what happens in that scenario to Buffett? Because when he puts it up there, right, that's what becomes another story, especially when it comes to all the money that he has, right? $350 billion and counting. Not sure how much more will he sell. and keep accumulating, but that's something to keep in mind. Anyways, what's your biggest stock that you guys hold if you had to, right? If you could just hold one stock for the next 5 years, what would it be? Just one. Drop it in the comments. I just want to see what answers people come up with. Looks good to me. I'm not sure if it's coming and going or what is it. I mean, it's just something that we should keep in mind, right? Okay, so rocket at its peak, which was, what was the fucking peak? Okay, so you're looking at about 28 and then 28, 43. Let me see what else is happening. Ah, yeah, so you saw it at about 43. So 43 is a good price on a rocket. That's the highs, but I'm not sure if it's going to go to those highs. I think even if you can see 27, 28, that's a good price. That could be fascinating. Yeah, maybe I'll take a shot on rocket just on the fact that the bond yields collapse, right? I mean, maybe it could go to 21 once the earnings coming out. Let's see what happens there. Earnings are on 31st July. The earnings that came out before was on 8th May, and it was pretty good. So I'll go into the earnings call and figure things out, and then maybe that can help out as well. All right, that's something that can obviously help. Anyways, guys, make sure you guys hit the poll, subscribe, and join in onto every live. We go live like every day pretty much. Same time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So we just keep at it. Go ahead with those questions as well. In all honesty, it was such a bullish day that there's nothing to do that much in terms of other than looking at green. I'm trying to find some red on the screen in some stock other than maybe Okta that had its earnings release and collapsed, but I'm not able to find anything that's been that bad. Like, okay, maybe Spotify's down 0.06, but that's like nothing. Netflix been hitting new highs 1211. I mean, that's like on a tear altogether. It's just crazy the way the growth has been happening for Netflix, Spotify, any all of these companies, right? Look at On, right? On's hitting about a $60. On's almost 20 billion, while Nike is at like 92 billion. Yeah. 4.5 more times than On's bigger than Nike, right? But remember, Nike has 50 billion in sales. Can they turn the ship around? Maybe they can. Who knows? Let's see. Shake Shack up 7.42%. Fabulous. Shopify up 5%. Shopify has been flying as well. Snapchat's up 2.3. But Snapchat's been dead. Their ad business is pretty much dead at this moment. Tesla was the big one, right? 7% higher. With the way the stock looks right now, I wouldn't guess 488 or 500 is not coming on the stock. It's something that I would, if I had a gun to my head, I would say maybe 500 is coming. You could look at 500 on Tesla. Possibly, right? Good. If you guys have any questions about the market or anything in general, I mean, we can talk about all of it. We have some time on our hands today, so we can pull this longer as well. So no rush. It's all cool. I'm just gonna do some of my stuff, and when I find something cool, I will talk about it. A lot of people have been actually thinking whether there'll be a turnaround in Starbucks or in Nike. All right. At the moment, both of them have great management, if you think about it, right? Elliot Hill at Nike, he's been killing it from 40 years back when he was just an intern to today, now being the CEO and running the show, right? So maybe it does head higher. Not sure. Let's see, right? What are we looking at? Yeah, so that's something when it comes to Nike, will very well be heading a lot higher than people think so. Right, at the moment, what's it trading at? 87 almost, right? 120 doesn't look too far. Go ahead back. Right. Keep that in mind, guys. I mean, that's something, right? When you have this kind of managements like Nike with Elliot Hill, Starbucks with Brian Nickel, the guy that left Chipotle and now running Starbucks. These things are pretty much like, necessities to a lot of people. And if they're able to increase their price and keep their revenues stable in terms of the amount of customers that come in, they're going to start seeing huge amounts of growth. So it's not out of the ordinary to see something like that for these guys to turn around. And the market only requires some amount of confidence in the next quarter and the next 6 months and 12 months out. It'll start getting the stock to rally a lot more. So keep that in mind. It's not too much. While at the same time, you don't want to be caught on the wrong side of the things as well. So let me get that question from Jason. Check it out, 2021. Okay, let me get the chart open so it's simpler for me to check things out then. Mm. 2021 Jan SPY around, it's quite a long way back. Yeah, what are you saying? Somewhere around there, around January 18th, 19th. Right, that's when we topped out pretty much. We had, yeah, there seems similar movements and positions also supports your ripping up theory or intuition. Uh, that is true to a large extent. Remember in 2021, we were coming out of COVID and the consumer confidence numbers were similar as to what we're dealing with right now. Trump tariffs are not killing us in the literal sense. Financially, maybe for a lot of people, but otherwise, no. That being said, yes, we are. For some reason, I do believe that the more people are bearish, as closer you are to all-time highs, it's very likely that you're going to go to all-time highs and break above and just keep going higher, right? Something that I've been saying again and again. When you hit your all-time high and start breaking out from there, you're not stopping there. You're just going to break through that roof and keep going higher and higher, right? Like when we were talking about 2021, like you're saying, right? Around January 18th, 19th, you were looking at that price coming there, and then somewhere around that period you started to see consolidation towards all-time highs and then the rip higher all the way. You saw the SPY go from like 350 360 all the way to like 450. That's about a 40% return over that period. Keep in mind that was still very bearish data that was coming out from COVID, And at the same time, we also did have large amounts of IPOs that came out, which caused this entire rally to also head into till 2022. And then that massive crash in 2022. A lot of people forget about the bear market that was just 11 months though in 2022. But some of the stocks which are today in 3 digits were earlier in 2 digits. That's how bad it got. Look at a company like Netflix, down to sub $200. Today's at 1,200 in a matter of 3 years. Spotify, $600 stock below 100. Meta, $600 stock today below 100. Right? That's what it was in 2022. You don't want to see those kind of falls. So I rather have a 15% year or a 10% year rather than having a 30% up year, because that can elongate the bull market. If you start having 30% years, 25% years, because we've been having that for the past 2 years, 23, 25. You don't want to have a 30% year, 35, 40% year. You're going to take away those gains that are going to come in the future years because you're going to have one bad crash someday. It's going to come. It's how the world is. It's how the markets are. They don't go up forever, right? The more you zoom out, they do go up higher and higher. But you start zooming in, you have seen crashes. Now, when you deal with those is the important one, and how you deal with them is important, right? We're what, 3.74% away on the S&P 500. So not too much, guys. Could be there in like 3 weeks. And you could have an all-time new high in June, right? Quite possible, right? Even before you get to July 9th and the 90-day reprieve. Quite possible. So just keep in mind. All right. Anyways, great insight though there, Jason. I love that. Also, go ahead and make sure that you guys share this channel with whomsoever you think it can benefit. I do this every day at 7:30 Eastern, so all of you guys can join in as well as your friends or whomsoever you guys want. And come in and just basically, you can talk about markets, talk about things that are there, talk about a few things that I see happening during the market. Every day doesn't have to be an information filled day, right? I mean, some days we just take a step back and look at things and see what's happening and then make trades based on those or investments, whatever. Up to you guys. Let me also see what's happening. So 124, 4.9. Yeah, so you are seeing the wicks go lower, which is causing the option prices to head lower and lower. And let me also just put in what Nike's prices could go to, because that's what I'm expecting it. It's in 62. I mean, I don't think it's highly unlikely that you do see a I think Nike can do pretty well. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think there can be some move because of Elliott Hill coming in. The Amazon effect, the price increase effect, all of these things can play out. It's just my bet. Not sure if it works out the way I wanted to, but who knows, right? What was the high on Starbucks? Let me see. Let me see. We're at 87. The high was 117 just 2 months back. But what was the high? The 126. Maybe if we take that out, 150 could be on the cards as well. Possibly. You could say maybe Starbucks go up all the way to 150. That might be a new high altogether. Not sure if it happens, but yeah, let's see. Yeah, Jason, that's what I've been saying the same thing, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. I agree with what you're saying about we are going to rip higher. That's my belief. I think we'll see 6,500 to 7,000 in the SPX. So it's pretty similar. We might set ourselves up to be in a bull trap eventually someday, but at this moment, I'm still sure, Jason, that we're going to head higher. It is something that I do believe. And you're right. what you're seeing in 2021 on the SPY is similar to what we're seeing today, not just in consumer confidence, but in a lot of other things as well. I'm on the same page with you on that. That's for sure. My bet is all-time highs maybe this month, next month, or this current quarter that's coming in, and 6,500 by year end, maybe even 7,000. You know what? Sometimes when people are just too bearish, which is currently still the scenario, people are turning bullish, but not yet in terms of investments. But eventually, I do believe that people will. And when all of that money starts coming in, you start getting an OpenAI IPO or something like that, you're going to see 7,000, 7,500 on the S. It's going to sound stupid today, but it will happen someday. I might be wrong on the time, but the price is coming. So we could have a good 2025, we could have a good 2026 as well. And 2027 mid as well. Remember, when during midterm elections, markets are usually higher in that quarter and 2 quarters post that. Anecdotal data, you can go back and check it in time. Midterm elections and around that quarters has always been bullish. So just something to keep in mind. Let me see what else is happening here. What happens if you get there to 120 this year itself? That's not bad. Take care, Jason. Hopefully we get a gap up tomorrow as well, right? We all gotta make money somehow. So take care. Have a good night, man. See you tomorrow. Same time, 7:30. Thanks for the questions. I mean, look at 71 and 120, so that's about 50. I could go maybe. Not sure if we can get there, but maybe 150 looks on cards. That'd be fun though. Yeah, maybe it might see 150. I mean, that doesn't seem out of the ordinary. I also need to study Celsius. That's something that I'm trying to. What's going to happen in the future about that company? That'll be fun though to figure out a few things there. 37, you could see 100 maybe. And maybe we can go further out at the 55s and see what's happening there. So yeah, Starbucks could maybe head higher. That's my bet as well. Possibly could be heading a lot higher. The paying dividends, the company is looking good. Let's see. It should be fun though. All said and done. Anyways, guys, so I'm gonna go back to doing some of my work. Maybe I'll go ahead and do a live today after a few hours if I'm getting some work done, which is just research based. You guys can then come in and join there. Anyways, for all of you that's still here, we're going to put an end to that poll, and we're still at 50-50. I'm going to maybe do the same poll again to see what's going to happen there. That might be fun. I'm going to just end the poll as of now. Maybe we'll do the same poll and see what's happening then, right? That might be cool. Anyway, so join in, tune in for the next live. Just subscribe so you get like a notification every time I do go live. And then we'll take it from there, guys. Okay. See ya. Take care. Have a good one.